What's up, YouTube? This is Dan here from How To Skateboards, and today we're going to be talking about skate park etiquette. I'm here at the Greenport Skate Park today. We're not really going to be doing any tricks. We're not going to be teaching any tricks. We're going to talk about how to conduct yourself at a skate park, how not to get other skateboarders angry, and how to follow all the unspoken rules of skating the skate park. Now, if you don't follow a lot of these rules, some skaters might get a little angry. Skaters get triggered pretty easily sometimes, especially skaters that have been doing this for a long time. They forget what it's like to have been a beginner and to not really know what you're doing. It's been too long since their first time at the skate park to put themselves in your shoes. So we're going to go through the rules of the skate park one by one. These are just some guidelines you should follow. That way you can make some friends at the skate park and not some enemies. When it comes to skating a park, the main rule of thumb is to respect the space and to avoid getting in anyone's way. This is a shared space. Everyone gets their turn to skate, but what you want to avoid is things like cutting people off, taking someone else's run. So first and foremost, one thing that's important when it comes to a skate park is respecting the flow of the park. So the way most skate parks are designed, it's a two-way traffic system, just like a road. So this ramp is facing this way. You're either supposed to go up it or down it, You're probably not supposed to skate across it like this. So say if the park was really busy and people were constantly skating back and forth on these ramps, that would be called disrupting the flow of the park. And there's really no reason for me to do that. So most skate parks are designed this way. So go to the park, take a look at it before you start skating it. That way you don't, cross an intersection when you're not supposed to. The other thing, just in general, is you want to avoid what's called snaking somebody. So say you are following the flow, right? But, somebody's going in front of you and you cut them off, or you're kind of just standing right in their way and you decide to start skating right in their way. That's called snaking. You want to avoid that at all costs. You want to be mindful of where people are going, what run they're taking. So say, for example, one person's skating on this side of the ramp, the other person's skating on this side of the ramp, but somebody decides to just come over from the other side out of nowhere, and it just completely ruins the other person's run. That's something you want to avoid at all costs. That's going to get somebody angry. So just look around, watch other skaters, watch what direction they're going. You're not always going to be able to predict this. Sometimes this happens, but just be mindful. Try not to snake someone. Don't cut them off. Don't end someone's run early. Let them complete their run. And that'll lead me right to my next point. When it comes to skating something like this 6-foot spine here, a mini ramp, a vert ramp, a bowl, the general rule of thumb is only one person should be skating it at a time. Meaning only one person should be taking a run. Then once they're finished, you can rotate in. The reason for that is because if two people are skating on this spine at the same time, there's a high risk of them crashing into each other. You're skating a bowl, usually only one person can skate the bowl safely at a time. A mini ramp, the same rule goes. So usually when you're at a skate park, people will be standing on top of the coping. They'll be waiting their turn. Everyone goes one by one. They rotate. Once one person's done with their run, someone else drops in. That's usually the way it works. If you drop in while someone else is skating a small ramp or a bowl, they're going to get very angry and be like, what are you doing? Because it's just simply unsafe for multiple people to be in it at the same time. All right, now just some basic things to cover for a more street-oriented park. And once again, look how this park flows just in one direction. You're either supposed to skate it going this way or that way. You're not supposed to really cut across. But anyways, one thing you should avoid, when skating a street park is crowding near an obstacle, especially if people are skating it. People might not be skating it right now, but they might want to in 2 minutes. So say I'm just standing on this thing, or I'm just standing in the way of this. Like, that's just going to get somebody angry. So you always want to look around. If other people are skating near you, don't crowd an obstacle. The other thing too is, say you have a nice ledge. Sometimes what people will do is they will literally use a ledge as a bench. They will sit down on it, and that might get other skaters angry. They might nicely ask you to move, but you generally should not be sitting down on skate obstacles. You also should probably not put your stuff on these obstacles either. And then the other thing is, if there are obstacles at a park that are movable, and say it's in your way and you want to move it, you should typically ask someone who's skating this area, hey, are you using this obstacle? Say this rail, for example. If I want to move this rail, I'll ask the person that's nearby, hey, are you using this rail? If not, I can move it. Or, generally speaking, you just might want to ask, can I move that rail? Now, we have one other pretty controversial topic to cover, and this will probably be the last piece, and that is the topic of skate wax. Some people really like waxing obstacles. Some people hate it. The reason some people don't like it is because, it makes it a little too slippery maybe for them. Maybe it makes things a little unpredictable. The general rule of thumb is if you're skating a park alone, say you want to wax up that rail because it's a little sticky, no one's here, go and wax it. Wax it, that's fine. But if you want to be really safe, if someone else is skating it, you could literally just wax your board. You could wax the trucks on your board, you could wax your deck, and that will do the same exact thing. But if no one's here, you could probably get away with waxing it, no problem. If there are people here, kindly ask, hey, are you cool if I wax this rail here or this ledge? And half the time, they'll be totally fine with it. Some people, they're just anti-waxers. They don't like the stuff. But the one thing you should probably never wax, whether you're at the skate park alone or not, is ramp coping, particularly metal coping. If you're skating a bowl with pool coping and it's very sticky, you might be fine to wax it. That's accepted by some people. But metal coping, say on that mini ramp back there, waxing it is just a really bad idea. And at that point, you really should wax your board. The reason for that is because it can make skating a ramp like that really unpredictable for other people. Nobody is expecting a metal coping ramp to have wax on it, because usually a metal coping ramp is slidey enough. You really don't need wax on it unless you're performing, a really long grind. So avoid doing that. I've heard of people getting really hurt because, say you're ollieing into a disaster and you're intending for it to be a stall, it might turn into a lip slide. Your board might start sliding and you weren't expecting that. And I've heard of people who've gotten really injured because wax was put on coping. So avoid that at all costs. Maybe unless it's pool coping that's very sticky, then that's probably fine. All right, but that's it for skate park etiquette. You follow these guidelines and you'll make friends at the skate park. No one will be angry. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. And don't forget to head over to howtoskateboards.com. We've got boards. We make boards like these. And we got everything you need. So check it out.